we're looking at how to earn passive income. And I'm looking at this from a perspective of people who are probably you have a day job, you have a 9 to 5 job, or you don't have enough time to spend on investment. You have a very little time in your hands on a maybe on a year, on a monthly basis to spend on investing. This would help you to do this passively. What does it mean to earn money passively? It means it doesn't take up your time doing so. It means you can invest once and you continue to earn income from that investment. So first of all, the disclaimer. The disclaimer is the fact that today's presentation is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as investment advice. Investment can go up and down in value, and sorry, let me come on video. Can go up and down in value, and it means that past performances is not a guarantee of future return. So it's not a guarantee of future return. That out of the way, I'm required to say that each time I have a session like this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with today, like I said, I'm doing this differently today. I'm going to start with a scripture, Genesis 26 and verse 13. And that says that the man, speaking about Isaac, he said the man began to prosper and continue prospering until he became very prosperous. Speaking about Isaac, he began to prosper. If you look at this particular verse, for those who are not Christian who are not Christian on the call today, I'm sure these are fundamental principles that you will gain from what I'm going to talk about. Anytime I refer to the scriptures, they are principles for life that could apply in any generation, anywhere in the world. Okay, so if you look at the sentence here, you can see that there is a beginning, there is a process or a consistency, and then there is, at the end of the day, there is a result that you have at the end of the day. So what am I trying to say is that building wealth requires a beginning. You have to start. And then you don't just arrive at becoming very wealthy. There's a consistency to it that brings about you continuing to prosper and then becoming very prosperous. So there is time factor, there is consistency, that is you doing something. And that's what that scripture is saying. So it also talks about the fact that it's in levels. So you prospering happens in levels. So there are people who who will probably win big money and then they just land in money. Go and look. I read a lot of articles, and I've read a lot of articles of people who won millions, either euro millions, either in the US or or euro millions in the EU here, in the Europe here. And if you look at their story, 10 years later, 5 years later, a lot of them are poorer than people who never won a single million before in their lifetime. And so it's not about winning it big, it's about having the discipline to understand what web building is all about and being able to do that. So today I will be showing you how to make your money work for you, how you can earn passive income in a very tax efficient way while you are still working a 9 to 5 job. And then as I would love to say, there are so many ways to make money. Like I just said, you can win a lottery. You can have an inheritance given to you, a gift. You have a rich grandpa who's passed on, who's giving you a million pound in inheritance. You could become the executive of a multinational. You could become the CEO of Lloyd's Bank or of Shell or BP of M&S, or Microsoft or Google, and then you could have, you probably become a millionaire, if you do that for a period of time, or you could start a business and then your business could make you millions. But if you look at it, the odds of making it is increasing as you go down the list. For euro million, for you to win a million in euro million, to win euro million, it's about 1 to about 136 million. That's your chance. So that chance is more like For you to win is an act, it will be an act of God. And you know what? God doesn't play lottery. If I can say that, God doesn't play lottery. So then your chance of having an inheritance is probably higher than that of winning the lottery. And then of becoming an executive of a company and then becoming a millionaire is higher. The chance is there. If you work hard, walk up the ladder, you could. And you can start a business. A lot of people, millionaires today, are self-made millionaires because they started a business, or they've invested in something. And the last one, which is in bold, which are bold in bold letters, there is that you can become very good at what you do. And now, whatever your day job is, you can become very good at what you do so that you get paid more for your effort, and then your money can work for you. It means you don't have to work for money. Your money can actually work for you. And that is the principle I'm trying to teach today. Your money can work for you. Growing up, we've been taught that money is just a medium of exchange to buy stuff. But there's more to money than just buying stuffs. So our knowledge growing up is that you exchange. If you ask you now what is money for, it's a medium of exchange. Exchange of what? Goods and services. That was the only definition we were taught in school. We weren't taught that money could be a servant. We weren't taught that money is a worker that can go and work for you. So let's get that shift in our mind. That money is not just to exchange goods and services. Buy, 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 buy. Money is also meant to be a worker or a servant who can go and make more money for you. So that is the principle I want us to have at the back of our mind. So with education, persistency, and consistency, you are able to achieve this very last one, regardless of your income. And before I go to explain what I have on the screen, you see, there was a survey that was done in America of about 10,000 millionaires. They were surveyed. You won't believe that people that made the list, the top five career that made the list of millionaires in America, one of the teachers is part of it. I think accountant is part of it. I think who else? The least expected career were the people who actually made were the top in the list of millionaires in America. And a lot of them, almost 90% of them, were self-made millionaires. I think first generation millionaires. So they didn't inherit anything. And so the career you are in does not really matter. Okay, because I will show you using some calculator how if you consistently invest £100 on a monthly basis, you can become richer even when you retire than when you were working. And so what you see on your screen is the framework I used to teach. All my trainings is around this framework. And the background of you building a wealthy place is your spiritual mindset. First of all, like what I said about money, money is not just for spending. Money is a worker. That's a mindset that you must have. Another spiritual mindset you must have is that you are blessed. So if you don't believe that you are blessed, then it's difficult for you to go make money. If you are there, you are resenting the rich, yeah, all these rich people. And only God knows how they make their money. You can't be resenting the rich and you want to be rich. So if you don't know, just keep quiet. Okay, so you don't resent the rich and you want to be rich. So your mindset must be in line with what you are doing. You must believe that, if you say, if you believe you have to be fraudulent to make money, then you can't make money. All that will come into you be fraudulent activity that will steal your money away. So you must have the right mindset that, yes, God has prospered me. So how the mindset that whatever you do will prosper. You must have the mindset that people can make money genuinely. Not all rich people are bad people. And all those things must be there. Then body care, you must take care of your body. Trying to make money must not be at the detriment of your body. Don't overwork yourself. Don't because you want to make more money, don't take care of yourself. I won't go on holiday because I want to make money. No, you have to create a balance. Take care of your body. You need your body to be on this planet to be able to enjoy the money. Anyway, okay. So that's the foundation of you building wealth. And then on that foundation, I have 7 pillars. You need financial education. So if you're on this call tonight, what you are gaining is financial education, and it's continuous. Now, we weren't taught how to make money while in school. We're taught maths, physics, chemistry. We were taught even commerce and economics, but we weren't taught investment. So you could be a good engineer, you can be a very good doctor, you can be a very good teacher, you can be a very good economist, even accountant, and you don't know investment. Even those who are accountant, they are not taught how to do investment. So investment, becoming an investor is, it needs education. There are different ways of getting it. You can get it by making mistakes and losing a lot of money, or you can get it through a structured educational system like you are listening to me right now. You can get it, listening to a lot of materials and comparing them, reading books will give you that financial education, and then you can make more informed decisions. An educated mind can make better decisions. If you're educated in a particular area, when you understand risks, and then you're able to make more informed decisions. So again, the next thing is secure an income. So to build wealth, you need either of these two things: time, money, or time and money. If you don't have money, you can use time to build wealth. Along the line, money will come, and then you can now use that money. If you have money, or if you are busy, or you have some money, your money can go build wealth for you. So securing an income is very, very important, because your income is your seed. And we'll explain that a little bit later. And then the next thing is financial control. Now, it's not about how much you earn, but it's about how well you're able to control your income. If you don't control your income, if you like earn millions, that millions will evaporate and you won't know what you use it for. And that is just the nature of money. Money is, they call it currency. It flows. Even the Bible says money can grow wings and fly away. So if you don't know how to manage money, money will flow through your hand and it's gone, and you don't know what you use it for. uh so a lot of people use their money for the current expenditures, not capital expenditures. So the current expenditure is what you need on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. You just keep spending money on what you need. You don't. So what capital expenditure is like you buying a house or buying investment, which is capital, and then you can gain capital appreciation on your investment. Okay, the next thing that we normally talk about is how do you strategically build wealth? Apart from controlling your finances, managing your money very well, how do you build wealth strategically? Tax in a very tax efficient manner, in a very secured manner. Then how do you preserve your wealth? How do you manage risk? How do you, because like the economy rotates, how do you diversify? And then we look at succession planning. When you are getting older, or as your children are growing up, how do you transfer wealth to your children? And then your generosity is the seventh pillar. And with that, you have a worthy place uh, that you can build. I hope you understand that principle is clear. And so we'll look at a few of those principles today as we go in this training. The first thing there is that God gives bread and seed. Yeah, like I said, I'm going a bit spiritual today, and these spiritual principles are universal. So God gives bread and seed. Now, I'll read two scriptures. Allow me to do this. For as Isaiah 55 verse 10 says, for as the rain comes down and the snow from heaven, and do not return there, but water the earth and make it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. It's a very popular verse of the scripture. The next one says, 2 Corinthians 9:10 says, now may he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food supply and multiply the seed you have sown and increase the fruits of your righteousness. So let me explain these two scriptures. It said, God does what? God gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So any income coming from you is a blessing from God. But God does not separate bread from seed. God mixes them together. When God gives you, so if you collect your salary today, within your salary is bread and seed. You can't say, okay, my January salary is bread only, I'm going to eat it all. My February is all seed. We know that is almost impossible because you have expenses you have to meet. So you can't say, okay, I will wait till when God will give me the seed. No, every income God gives to you, every blessing God brings into your life contains what? Contain bread and contains seed. And so you are not meant to eat everything. You are not meant to eat your seed. So eat the bread and sow the seed. And this will give us two types of people. Before I go to two types of people, if you now look at the 2 Corinthians 9:10 says, God will blessed. He said, and now he who supplies seed to the sower, okay, also supply bread for your food. But what will he multiply? He will multiply the bread. He supply and multiply the seed you have sown and increase the fruit of your righteousness. So it's the seed that you've sown that will increase. It is seed that you have sown that will increase. Now, if I really want to go deeper into and these are natural, these are also natural principles. It's what you sow that you are going to reap. And I'm going to show us a particular video that will illustrate that in the natural very soon. So here we have the source mentality and the eater's mentality. Do you have a eater mentality? That money that comes to you, you just eat it. If you have an eater mentality, you can't build wealth that way. You must have a source mentality. Okay, I was almost going to say praise the Lord. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so this video, it's one video that I love so much because it kind of illustrates, it illustrates the principle that I'm trying to that I'm teaching us right now. It illustrates that principle very well. I'm going to play the video here, and you can just see the power of a seed. Okay, let's play this video. Let's just watch what this person is doing. Just a seed in the ground. Then you can see process happening. You can see days counting. Okay, it didn't become full grown within a day. It's taking 90 days now. Stay counting. Okay, it's taking about 140 days now. Okay, I'll pause it here. Okay, so you can see what has happened. A single seed has become a tree. And a few days ago, I was trying to use AI to replicate the same thing. And I'm going to play something that I did with AI a few days ago using the same principle. So you can see this person is putting a seed in the soil. This is just one 50 something seconds video. You can see this video. So that is what it can be. It can become a forest of pepper trees. Okay. So it means that if you take, yeah, okay. I'll stop it there. I'm still working on the video. So, but you can see what that could happen. It means if I harvest all of this pepper and I take out one seed each from each of them and I plant it, and after they've ripened, then taking out another seed from each of them, maybe I now have like 20 trees, and now plant where one tree is. Then I'm going to have 20 trees, one pepper from each of the 20 trees, plant it again, and then it multiplies until it becomes a forest full of pepper. And that is how your money is. The money in your hand is like this pepper. So your salary, like I said, imagine that this pepper is your salary and you get paid one pepper per month. Some people will grind everything and they will use it for suya. Okay, they use it for peppered meats, and that's it. The money is gone. Okay, why some instead of eating everything, they take out one seed. Taking out one seed will not spoil the soup. They take out one seed, plant it, and then they can go eat the remaining one. Okay, I'm sure you get what I'm saying now. So I think with those illustrations, so God gives bread and seed together. Your wage is your greatest wealth building tool. And then it means that if you don't protect your wages, you give it to pay car loan, to pay buy now and pay later, to pay or payday loan or whatever it is, credit card companies, personal loan, and the rest of it, then you have less power to build wealth. So I know if you get this principle, then the rest of my job will be very easy because you know that you need to separate your bread from your seed. It's a physical principle, it's a spiritual principle. So it said this law sustains the planet. Application of it will sustain your finances. And that's the reason why God is no longer creating human beings. God is not longer creating chickens because God has put in chicken the ability to lay eggs, and that eggs can hatch and produce more chickens. God has put in human being the seed for us to reproduce more human beings. God has put in apple the seed for apple to reproduce more apples. So God has put in your finances the seed for your finances to reproduce more finances, to produce more money. And so you are not ever supposed to eat it all. Okay. And when you get your income, it has three components: the seed aspect of it, your generosity, and your investment. So when I talk about seed, I'm talking about your investment in. When I talk about seed in my class, I'm talking about your investment. I'll leave the generosity for pastors, for our pastors to teach us. But I focus on the savings and investment part of things. So when you have your whole pie like this, the bigger part of it is for you to eat. But don't forget forget to be generous, and don't forget to put aside your seed. So that's number one thing we're talking about today. Okay, that's one. So we're going to talk about three things. So number two, it's not about how much you earn. So I said knowledge, wisdom, understanding for application is needed. So it's not so much about how much you earn. And then I also have here a scripture, Proverbs 21, verse 20 says, there is precious treasure and oil in the house of the wise who prepare for the future, but a short-sighted and foolish man swallows it up and wastes it. So two people here, the wise person and the foolish person. So the wise person prepares for the future, but the foolish person is short-sighted, swallows up everything they earn, and they waste their resources. So I'm sure we are not that person. And I have here on the screen two people. These two people, the first man on the left, Hel Crawley, uh, was a parking lot attendant all his life. He worked for about 44 years and he was a parking lot attendant for 44 years. But at retirement, he had £500,000. Through his 44 years, he never earned more than £12 an hour, the minimum wage in the UK. He never earned. It means at some point it was earning $5 an hour, at some point $6 an hour, at some point $7 an hour, but he never earned above $12 an hour all through his career. And he was able to build £500,000 in wealth at retirement. And it's got a lovely family. So it's not as if they were scruffy and they were taken care of. He was taking care of his family while doing that. And when I do the maths, which I'm going to show us, when I did the maths rather, uh, it was if he was investing £15 per month in Coca-Cola, which was one of the investment he bought. So if you want to read the article is here. It's on Yahoo Finance. You can read the article here. So if he said he bought some Coca-Cola shares, and I calculate that if you put £15 into Coca-Cola every month for 44 years, you get to £500,000. So you can see that it's more about how you manage your finances. It's not about how much you earn. Same thing with this the other man here, who was able to amass $8 million in at retirement. He was a janitor all through his life. He was working as a janitor and was also doing some other petty work here and there at a gas station. He had 8 million. He was giving money to universities, for philanthropy and the rest of it. He ended up being a philanthropist at the end of the day. So it is not about how much you earn. It's about how hard your money can work for you. This guy's penny worked for him for 44 years. And at the end of the day, was able to retire with £500,000 in his retirement fund. So I did a math of the man. When I read this article, he said he was buying a lot of companies. One of them is Coca-Cola. I just picked on Coca-Cola and I did a math of Coca-Cola that if at 14%, and during that 44-year period, 40%, in the last 44 years, Coca-Cola returned 14% per annum in capital appreciation. So I use that as the input for the interest rate. For 44 years at £15, $15 or £15 every month, you get £500,000. And so it's if you know what to do, it is not difficult. If you start very early, you are, and that's just very good. By the time you've done it for like 10 or whatever, 10, 20 years, you do a lot better than people who didn't start early enough. So how do you do money management? Let me just move on from there. How do you do money management? You must have a written plan. Okay. And I will explain these five things on the screen for you. You must have a written plan. You must live on less than you make. They kind of seem obvious. You must resist lifestyle creep. You must avoid consumer debts and credit card debts. You must always seek to increase your capacity to earn more money, because the more you earn, the more disposable income you will have if you manage it very well, if you put in the principles I'm going to teach us today. Now, you see, I didn't jump into investment because if you get these fundamentals wrong, then you say, I don't have money for investment. But if you get these fundamentals right, you will always know that your seed must be separated from your bread. Okay, let's just look into this. So we said have a written plan. So to have a written plan means you must have a budget. Okay, you must have a budget and allocate your money intentionally. Sorry, let me use this because what each of us calls our necessary expenses will always grow to equal to our income unless we protest. So if you don't allocate intentionally, your expenses will always grow to meet your income. It means if you're earning 2,000, your expenses will be 2,000. If your income increases to 3,000, your expenses will increase to 3,000 if you are not careful about it. That's just the way money works. If your income becomes 4,000, 5,000, your expenses will be 4,000 or 5,000. That has happened to me before. Unless you are conscious to do what I'm going to say, I'm going to explain to us in the next few slides. So consumer debt, avoid it. In the UK, there are over 243 billion consumer in consumer debt that we all hold banks and credit card companies and payday loan companies, buy now and pay later companies. Credit cards, 73 billion that we are owing credit card companies. Can you imagine how much that is making the banks at 15%, 20%, 30% interest on credit cards? Some credit cards are almost 50% interest. Okay. If we are going, let's start working our way through to get free as soon as possible, because debt keeps you in a vicious circle. It's called the rat race. You can't leave the rat race because you owe. You can't leave the rat race because you have payments to make. Okay, and it reduces your capacity to build well because your money you are giving them to the banks. Okay, let's move on. So this is how you allocate your resource. Very important. The percentages could vary from family to family, from individual to individual. The percentages could vary, but this is a general way for you to allocate your resources. Now, again, depending on where the stage you are in your life, okay? If, for instance, someone who's got a family, we spend more money. Someone who's got a mortgage, we spend more money. Someone who's got 2, 3, 4 children, we probably spend more money and stuff like that. So it depends on the stage you are, in life. So first of all, you must have a need bucket. The need bucket is where the money you need to survive is allocated to. For instance, your rent, your mortgage is a need. Your utility is a need. It means you need electricity, you need internet, you need gas, you need to eat your house. It's a need. You need food on your table. That's a need. That money goes into your need bucket. Okay, you need to transport yourself to work either by public transport or by fueling your car. That is a need. Okay, the things that you need to survive are needs. Eating out is not a need. Okay, that gym membership is not a need, it's a want. So your want bucket also, there are some things you want to go. I want to go to the cinema, I want to go out eating, I want to, all of that, I want to help somebody, I want to give money to my parents or to somebody that, I just want to be generous to somebody, those are, okay, I have a bucket for generosity here. So I won't combine that with your wants. So your wants are things that you can do without. They are not a must. Okay. And then your form bucket, which a lot of people don't have form buckets. It's good that you have a form bucket. Don't just walk and walk and walk and walk. Now, some people take the form bucket to the extreme. Say, I want to enjoy now. And so they want to enjoy now, they forget about tomorrow. They forget about their future buckets, all the money and enjoyment. Self-love is good. It's self-love, and then you are not loving yourself for the future. So you don't put everything into fun bucket, but you must have a fun bucket where you put aside on a monthly basis how much you want for your holiday. Some will start planning for their holiday when it's 2 or 3 months to. Then at that point, they are pressured. They have to go use credit card to buy that. They have to go use credit card to buy their plane ticket. Use credit card to buy the hotel. Why? Because they've not planned their fund bucket from the beginning of the year. So if you know you want to have a major holiday in the year, maybe that major holiday is going to be August during summer holiday. Start putting money aside September of last year. As soon as you return from the last year holiday up to the August, so you have 12 months to prepare towards that holiday. Putting money in your fun bucket. Other things you can do for fun, just have memories with your family. It could be a day out, it could be to the cinema, it could be to go and eat. Whatever it is that gives you fun, have budget for it. Then have budget for the future. Allocate money for the future. And that means your retirement account, your ISA account, your retirement account, you are putting money aside into it. Then your generosity. Also be generous. Be generous either to wherever you worship or to other people. Uh, it's good to be generous. So I did a video on this. It's on YouTube. I did a 2-hour video on just this. I think last year, January or so. If you want to watch the full video on how to allocate your resources, it's on my channel at ibwfg.com, the wealthy place. How to give purpose to your money. The title of the video, maybe January last year or so. I have that 2 hours. So I'm meant to do that, which I won't be able to go to in detail here today. Or maybe I could do some detail on it. This is how you give purpose to your money. I'll just do a summary using this diagram. Is the fact that you need a financial vision. What do you want? What's your vision for your family? What's your vision for yourself if you are single? What is your financial vision? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What kind of lifestyle do you want your children to live? What kind of, so you must have that vision because those visions will cost money for you to achieve. So you need that vision first. Make a list of the vision that requires money. That is the next thing. Your needs, your wants, your all those 4 buckets, your phone, whatever it is that you need money for. Make a list of them. And then check your current spending. Am I spending money on what I have on my list? So this is a reality check. Look at your bank statement for the last 6 months. What have I been spending my money on? Are they part of my purpose? Are they part of what my financial vision is? Okay, at that point, then you now need to tag your list by saying this one is important, this one is a must. Maybe I should look for the spreadsheet and then you can quickly have a look at the spreadsheet. Let me open the spreadsheet that we normally use. If you want that spreadsheet at the end of the class, I can send you the spreadsheet, and then you can use that to work out your. Don't do it. Don't say I have a mental knowledge of it. No, write it down somewhere in a book, or use this spreadsheet, or use a spreadsheet to do that, so that you have it black and white somewhere. So if you look at this spreadsheet, we have got here some of my needs and wants and fun and future and everything bucket is here. Okay, so you can now tag each of them. Okay, my offering for me is a must. Charitable giving is a must. TV license, if you have a TV, it's probably a must. Utility is a must. Feeding is a must. So you tag your list this way. If you have a car, then this could be a could have. If you don't have a car, you don't need that. You probably might have, then this will become a must for you. Public transport becomes a must if you don't have a car. And then breakdown cover, if you don't have a car, is probably something you could say be a could have until you have a car. If you have children, then that would be a must have. Okay. And then so you tag your list that way. I put here credit card, personal loan, car loan, never again. So if you look at your current bank statement, maybe your current bank statement, all of this money, they are going out. Now, what do you want your statement to look like going forward? Where do you want your money to go? Then you now allocate your resources your income this way. So we now, again, you have the one that is future. Then you have the one that is good memory, your fun bucket, holidays, dinner dates, for with yourself or with your spouse, gift for your spouse and children, summer events, group events you want to go for, gym subscription. Uh, I will probably put that one as a good could have. It's not really a must. Maybe you already have Amazon subscription, Netflix subscription, Apple TV, Disney Plus, all of that. You probably need just one of it. Maybe Netflix, maybe Amazon. One, you can say, okay, I have children, maybe I will need Disney Plus, or maybe YouTube, maybe children they should be all right with YouTube, whatever it is. So you reallocate your resources that way to cover those four buckets, your form bucket, which is good, your good memory, your future bucket, your generosity, your could have, which is your want, and then your must have. And then you put in this way, and then you allocate. And so for us as a family, what we do is that we say income, we put in income, salary one, salary two, we put it in here. So let's assume our salary is 2,000. Okay, if there are other things that will bring in money for us, we put in this spreadsheet, and that total will come down here. Okay, projected income, we come down here. So I've already put in formula J20, income J20 is this a particular is this particular amount. That's what I put in there. That'll be J what? J20, yeah. That'll be J19, J20 is this one. So whatever it's your income, you put it here, and then you compare that with how much you budgeted on a monthly basis, and that will give you how much you probably will. This is per annum based on that spreadsheet, not per month. And then you can track it on a monthly basis. Take like an hour or two to do that. Track it on a monthly basis to see how much actually where your money is going. And so some people will say, well, my money is not much, I don't need a budget. Whether you need a budget. Some people say budget's only for the rich people. No. Some people say budget's only for the poor people. No. These are wrong mindsets. Everybody needs a budget. A country have a budget. Countries have budgets. Companies have budgets. Families should also have budgets. Okay, then like I've said, you're like showing us there, you reallocate based on your purpose. And then the last thing is that you automate, very important. The automation part of it is the most important. If you don't automate it, if you leave it for you to do manually, you will not do it. Now, let me explain the automation part of it. The automation part of it is the use of standing orders and direct debits. So you must use standing order and direct debits to automate it. So let's go back to the previous screen. And I'm just going to explain what I meant by that. So let's assume here that your income is 1,000. I'm going to use percentages I have on the screen to explain that. Won't increase that to, let's say 48. So I will use what I have on the screen to explain this. Let's assume your maybe family income or individual income is 1,000. So we know that 65% of that is 650, and then we know that 5% of that will be what? £50, and then we know 3% of that will be £30, and then we know that the future bucket will be £150, and then generosity will be £120. And now, so with this, what you're going to do is that you have two bank accounts. This how to automate now. Two bank accounts. So one account one, which is account one is where your salary is coming into. So let me just write. One is your salary account. On this account, you have direct debits. Let me call it DD, direct debits, and then your standing orders. Okay. On account two is your spending account, your daily spending account. Now, this is where you have a debit card that you carry around and you spend on a daily basis. Now, the mistake people make, which I've made in the past, is that you spend money from your salary account. Yes or yes or yes. A lot of us spend money directly from our salary account. When you do that, you give yourself unlimited budgets to spend money. And that's where people miss it. You give yourself unlimited resources to spend. And so before you know it, you've not done any bad thing. You've not done no vice, nothing bad, but that money will finish before the 25th, before the 28th of the month, because you are spending directly from your salary account. So what you're supposed to do is to allocate money that is for your wants and needs. Needs first, your needs and wants must go into your spending account out of your salary account. And then on this, you carry a debit card, and that is what you spend on a monthly basis. And once the allocation for that month is gone, so you arrive at the allocation based on your historical spending. How much do I spend reasonably on a monthly basis? Okay, if it is maybe you earn 1,000, if it is 600, if it's 700, whatever it is. Once that amount has finished, you finish spending. Other things have to wait till next month. And you know the reason why other things have to wait in next month? Because all of this money will have gone out of your account. So the next one, which is your needs and your wants will be together. So that makes that 700. So the next one, which is your fund money should have gone to an example, gone to an online account because you don't need it until the next 1 year. So that should go to your cash ISA. So if you want to go on holiday by August, your holiday money should be going into a cash ISA now. So, and then you do a standing order on your salary account at the very first day of the month or the day you receive your salary or whatever. If your salary is consistent on a particular date, let's say you get paid on the 26th of every month, on the 27th of the month, there will be a standing order that transfer money from your salary account into your cash ISA, which is for your fund money, your holiday money. So the reason why it's a cash ISA is because you need that money we need in the next 1 year. Okay. So the fourth one is that you have an understanding order that transfers money into your future account. So this will be an investment account. So that also on the first day of the month, the money through standing order is leaving your account into your investment account. That could be your ISA, could be your LISA, could be your SIP. Okay, the money is leaving on the first day of the month. So this money is gone, this money is gone, this money is gone. All you have left is, so this money also, some of it is your daily spending, some of it is your utility and your rent. So the ones that are direct debits that you can't do without, that is an obligation on you, like your utility, your water, electricity, your internet, their obligation, they are on direct debit. You leave them in your salary account. So your direct debit will take these ones away. You cannot but pay for those ones. So you leave them in your salary account. But that your daily grocery spending, that your miscellaneous spending must go to a separate account. Whatever it is, if it is 500, if it is 400, must go to a particular account. I hope you understand that. So that is the principle for money management. That is how you manage so that you do not overspend. If you don't do that, the tendency that you overspend is very, very high. Until you do that, you will likely overspend. Okay, I think I've explained that long enough. So let's do resource allocation. Let's do it properly. Automate the process. For me, my investment money leaves my account first day of the month. It's invested for me second day of the month, and so the money is gone. If I spend all my want and needs money before the 15th or 20th of the month, I have not to fall back on. Really, I really have to wait for the next month. Okay, let's move on from there. And so, I spent time doing this, explaining this so that we can understand financial control. When you understand financial control, the rest is easy because you now have an accumulation of money in your savings account. You start asking, Tell what can I use this for? What can I use this money for? Then I can now say, okay, this is even if you don't understand investment now, I can now say this is how to allocate this particular money into investment. Okay, so two things we've discussed today. First of all, uh, God gives bread and seed. So your income contains bread and seed. Number two, it's not about how much you earn, it's how well you manage your income based on what I just explained to us. Okay. And then number three, some people will say, okay, what if my income is too small? Yeah, which is also possible. You might be in a situation whereby your income is small compared to where you are living. One, reassess your life. Is my house too expensive? Is my car too expensive? Okay. Reassess your situation. One. Number two, increase your capacity to earn more money. It means you probably have to go and earn more money to cover the shortfall. But if you've done your budget very well, and also tell people that, putting money aside is an habit you must develop. So it's not about how much. So you could start with 3%, okay, that is going into your investment. As you earn more money, increase it to 5%, 10%, until you reach 15% or 20% of your income. So keep increasing how much that goes into your investment as you continue to earn more money. But the main thing is that form that habit at a very early stage. Now let's go into the third thing on which we're going to spend the rest of our time is you must become an investor. The third thing is to earn passive income, you must become an investor. You must make your money work for you. And I put there Matthew 25, 13 to 30. And then you have Ecclesiastes 11, number 6. So to make your types of streams of income that you can have, you have the active income and the passive income. Now, the active income is when you exchange your time for money. Your time and your effort equals to money. Your passive income is that you do an initial work or an investment, and then it grows, giving you ongoing money. And these are examples of active and passive. Your salary job is active. Okay, you are working hard and we're not working smart. Your hourly wages, your freelancing work, your commission work, your consulting work, your self-employed work, side hustle, all of that is we give unto you what you are working hard and it's giving you active money. Your passive income is your rental income from your property. If you invest in property, your dividend from stocks, royalty from books, music, patents, affiliate marketing earnings, earning from online businesses that runs on autopilot. Okay, your YouTube channel and the rest of it are the things that you work once, you keep making money from it. Your investment gives you passive income. So we look at a few things very quickly as we go into how do you now invest. So we'll talk about property and then we'll talk about other things also. Okay, cash flow quadrant. Now, we're talking about investing. To be an investor, you need a mentality, and that is the mentality of the high quadrant. So this EBSI quadrant, or what is called cash flow quadrant, was developed by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and the author of Cash Flow Quadrant. That's a book that is called Cash Flow Quadrant. So he has also developed a game also. And so he's done a lot of things in that area. I read his book years and years, I would say decades ago, because more than 20 something years ago now that I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And very good book. It's still very good. Now let me explain what this EBSI means. E is the employee quadrant. A lot of us are in the employee quadrant. Time equals to money. The S quadrant is the self-employed quadrant. You own a job. Here you have a job. Here you own a job. Why? Because you have no leverage. As a self-employed person, you don't make money when you don't work. For instance, I'm self-employed. I only make money when I work. If I'm off sick, God forbid, or I'm on holiday, I don't make money from my employment because what? I'm self-employed. So I'm not better than the person who owns a job. And in fact, the person who owns a job is better than me because they have paid holidays. They have time off sick and they still get paid. But a self-employed person, you don't get paid when you don't work. So you are still trading your time for money. And then we now have people who are business owner. This one, the business owner here is not a side hustle owner. It's business owner that has a system in place. People are working for you. The side hustle owners belong to self-employed. Okay, you have a business, you have system in place. People are working for you. So people equals to a lot of money. So you can afford to go on holiday and you still get paid because people are working the system for you. But you now have here where you have money is the one working here. Money works to make more money, and that is where you have passive income. So what Robert Kiyosaki was trying to say is that even when you have a job, you are making money, allow your money to flow, let your cash flow into the high quadrant. You are self-employed, let your money flow into the high quadrant. You're a business owner, let your money still flow into the high quadrant so that you can have financial independence as time goes on. So the mentality here is that money makes more money. Money is not just for spending. So here we have asset classes. How can you make your money work for you? There's so many ways. Okay, so many ways. All of these ones are ways. These are asset classes, either equity, stocks, okay, mutual fund, ETFs, they all belong to the same category. Or your money can work for you through fixed income bonds. Through fixed income, example is bonds, uh, bonds, and then you have the cash and cash equivalents. Those are certificate of deposit, treasury bills, savings accounts. They are all cash and cash equivalents. Okay, you have real estate, and then you have commodities. Some people buy commodities like gold, like precious metal, and then they keep it for the future and they sell. Okay, and then you have the alternative investment, that is you starting a business, collectibles. Some people buy artwork, some people buy rare Rolex watch, some people buy rare cars, and then they sell it later in the future. Unless some ladies are investing in bags. Just be careful that the bag you are investing, it's not, you are it's really an investment that will sell more in years to come, that you're not just indulging yourself. Okay, now I'm not picking on us, ladies, but let's be sure that that is not the case. Some material, some things are limited edition, and so they sell better when they stop. Once they stop selling or distributing them, they sell better in the market. So today we look at a few of these. Uh, Maybe a bit. We look at the stock part of things. We look at real estate part of things, and we can look at a bit of summary on business also. So for business, I wouldn't spend so much time on it. Your business is unique to you, so I can't explain to you how to do your business. I can only explain some yeah, basic things that you need to do. You must be creating value, very important. If you're creating value, then somebody will ask for it. If you are meeting a need, somebody will ask for it. I think that's all I can say in business. So you have other things, other different things that people can do, a lot of it, and there could be a lot that are not here. These are traditional, the boring kind of businesses. They bring in money. They might look boring, but they bring in money. So depending on what you want to do. So that's all I was going to say for business. So the second one is real estate. That can give you passive income if you do it very well, in a way that will give you passive income. And I'll just go into a bit of talk about give us a little bit about that. For instance, these are the advantages of investing in real estate. It's something I'm doing, and I know it could be profitable because you are actually building up. You have capital appreciation on your real estate investment. Number one, the first advantage is that there is leverage. Leverage is the fact that you're able to borrow 90% from the bank to buy a house. You're able to borrow 75% from the bank to buy a house, and then that is you leverage on banks' money. So when I talk about not borrowing money, not like not borrowing money for investment, because if you borrow money for property, that money, your deposit is in the property, the money is in the property. The property is worth how much you have borrowed. Knowing that you bought a car for 30,000, and as soon as you go off the parking lot, that car is now 25,000. Within the first 1 year, it has lost more than 25% of its value when you do that. So that is not appreciating in value, it's reducing in value. So if you are borrowing money for an asset, like buying a property, getting a mortgage for a property, yeah, that's in my own word, is acceptable. Capital appreciation on your money. You have rental income, cash flow from rents, and then less your expenses, you should have some money left. Positive cash flow. You have an equity release. Equity release is when you're able to pull out money from a house to buy another house. And then physical asset is a physical asset which you can see and touch. There's housing shortage. There's It's a diversification of your assets. So you're not only putting money into, you diversify all through the asset classes. And then it's a store of value because your deposits is protected within the building. And then I put here in here an example which I normally use, which I will show us in a moment. So, how do you get started in real estate? If you come for master class, I will explain each of these. I do have a master class for those who are not aware. I do have a master. I will explain. I will do introduction into these, into what all of these things means. I won't go deep into it even in the master class because each of them they are a course on their own. So there's residential properties, there's commercial properties, there's industrial, there's misuse property, there's real estate development, there's co-living investment, where you have a lodger in your house. You can earn up to £7,000 per year without paying taxes. If you have a lodger in your house, you're allowed to earn up to that amount without having to pay taxes on, for lodging somebody in your house. Okay. It's something I've done in the past. A lot of people do it. When I used to travel to work in a far distance, I go on Monday, come back on Thursday. I lodge in people's house and then I pay them just like before Airbnb became very popular. I'm talking about 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago. At times, Airbnb was more expensive than you lodging in somebody's house. They just give you a room, you share kitchen with them and stuff like that. Holiday lets, service accommodation, real estate flipping, real estate wholesaling is when you just look for this and sell this to other people. Rent to rent, land acquisition, HMO, social housing. These are all things you can do in real estate. Different ways to make money from real estate. Different ways to make money from real estate. But I won't be able to go deep into that. So I only use this to explain equity release that we bought a house 2010 for 10,000, a 50% deposit is worth about 160,000 now, which means it has more than double over the last 15 years, 16 years thereabout. And then we've done equity release from that house to buy another one, which was then 255. Now it's not 300, about over 380. Uh, More than 65% equity here, more than 50% equity here. And if you add that together, I think it's a lot more than 0 0.5. Um, so that is the power of a seed. This is a seed that has almost become in a forest. And if you want to release equity here, I have 50% in this place. You want to release equity here, you have over 150, over 160,000 pounds to release here to go and buy another one. Here you can release another one, another maybe 50K here to go and buy another one. But I'm not doing that because I want them paid off. Okay. So that is what your seed can become if managed over a period of time. And so I put in here, don't wait until you can afford a mansion. You can get on property ladder as soon as possible and then rent it out and move on to another house if you so wish. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about real estate. I won't have enough time to explain one by one what each of those stands for or how to start them. I do go into introduction into each of them when I do my master class. By the way, one is coming up on Saturday for those who might be interested in joining that on Saturday. If you know anyone who's interested, you can also invite them. Okay, let's move on to stock. Another way is stock investing. And I said this is not day trading, and I love to emphasize that this is not day trading. This I do not train people on how to buy or how to trade crypto. Now, I said full disclosure, I think I have crypto of maybe, I think it's now less than this, maybe like 400 and 500 and something in crypto for full disclaimer. But this is not the trade. And in fact, I tell people, please don't trade. Please do not trade the market. Let me quickly look for the reason why I say that. I think I have statistics somewhere that might help somebody. Please don't trade. I love to hammer on it. Don't trade. Gen Zs, please don't trade crypto. Don't trade currency. Don't trade stock. You will lose money. You have a higher tendency of losing your money when you trade. Very, very high tendency of losing money. I'm just going to look for some headlines and show us statistics that we have on trading. Okay, let me quickly look for that image, and I'm just going to put the image on the screen for us to see. I hope I can still find it. Just to show us statistics on how many people lose money. I think I've seen it. How many people lose money in trading? Okay, I think undo that. Okay, let me just give me a moment, and I'm just going to put something on the screen for us now. Create something new. Let's make it you to okay, thumbnail. Okay, so I've put in a blank canvas here. Now this canvas, I'm just going to put a few things. This is my design application, Canva. So I've got the statistics somewhere. I think I can't locate it, but I can just quickly show you. So if you can, if that is legible for you, these are statistics of about trading. I'm going to blow that up for us in a moment. These are statistics on trading. These are all trading platforms in the UK. Okay, so let me just quickly download that for us, and then I will show us the reason why I emphasize that people should not trade. I literally beg people not to trade, actually, because I've been a trader before. Just to add to that, I've been a trader before. 2006 to 2012, I was trading. So look at this. Let's look at these statistics together. Okay, plus 500 is a trading platform. 8% of retail traders lose money trading CFD. Now, IG, how many people? 69% of retail trader, because government said they must put this on their website. 69% of retail investor account lose money while spread betting or trading. Trading is called spread betting in the UK. And in fact, it's not taxable because they know you are going to lose money. When government is not taxing you for trading, you know that they know if they are taxing you, that you can write it off on your salary and not pay tax on your salary. They know that you will lose money. That's why government don't tax. This one says 61% of people in retail lose money. They want to say 69% of people in retail trading lose money. They want to say 70% of people lose money. 73% of people lose money. What more can I say? You can see the statistics in the UK. The average of 70% of people lose money while trading in the UK. Please do not trade the market. Okay, let me remove that. That was just by the way. I wasn't planning to show that before. So that was just by the way. So please do not trade the market. What do you do instead? Become an investor. It could be slow. Okay. It could be in a negative today, it could be positive tomorrow. It could be slow. I understand that. But when you do it long enough over a period of time, you begin to see momentum. Okay. I'm at a point where my account has gained momentum. The rate at which my account increased now, it increased, at a very exponential rate, because I've gone to that point where I now have a lot of momentum. But if I were to be trading, I want to trade every day to make money. And you know what? My chance is 30%, not 70% of chance of losing my money, if not higher than that. A lot of people lose money. I've lost a lot of money trading in the past. Okay. Now, what you need to do is to become an investor. Why invest in the stock market? Why invest in the stock market is because your pension funds are in the stock market. All the money we contribute at work, they move from your salary at work, they all go into real estate, private equity, bonds, and stock market. That is where your money, your pension money is going to from your employer. Over $60 trillion, when I think these assets were like a year or two ago, are invested in pension funds across the world. And then you have over 42 trillion US stock market. At that point, we have over 100 trillion of money in the stock market across the world. And what's the good news? You can start with £1. You can start investing in stock with just £1, which I think is the good news. Okay. Now, investing in stock makes you a shareholder. You are asked to come and vote. Uh, you are asked to come and vote to know, to vote and then decide what is going to happen in the company. You get dividend from the company. If they pay dividend, you get some dividend from based on how much, based on how much you've invested. So I was just going to show us emails I get on voting. Okay, vote on Super Microcomputer, vote on Broadcom. These are some of the companies I have. Vote on Apple. Come and vote on Costco. Come and vote on Microsoft. You have the right to come and vote in companies that you are invested in, and then some of them also. Some of them, if they do pay dividend, no matter how small that dividend is, at times it could be 10p, it could be 1p, but as the more you invest, the more your dividend will grow. Before you know it, your dividend is getting to £20, it's getting to a lot, it's becoming a lot more. I'm just going to show us income. Okay, so I have loads and loads and loads of email on investment income that I've received. So let's move on from there. Now, how do you invest in the stock market? So these are different areas where you can invest in the stock market. You could buy individual stocks. I will show us a few of them in a moment. You could buy mutual funds. You could buy trust funds. You could buy ETFs. Then you can buy tracker funds. You can buy bonds. I won't have enough time to explain each of them and what it stands for, but I'll just show us an example. For instance, if you buy Lloyd's Bank, that is an individual stock. If you buy S&P 500, okay, that could be an index fund because it's tracking an index. Let me just explain to us. These are master class kind of teaching, but let me quickly break it down for us very quickly. So let's come around to Yahoo Finance. So you can see all of these ones, they are all indices. This FTSE 100 is indexed in the is 100 top companies in the UK. So you could buy this 100 as you can buy an index tracker that track this particular one. If you come on to America, S&P 500 is an index. So you could buy a stock that tracks, this particular index. Okay, let me give us an example. NASDAQ, for example, let me see EQQQ. Okay, EQQQ is an index tracker. It tracks NASDAQ. It tracks NASDAQ. I think it should be NASDAQ 100, I think. So if you look at it on a yearly basis, you can see that they are moving at the same rate. So instead of you buying, so to buy NASDAQ, you need $24,000. But with this with £480, you can buy the whole of the company within NASDAQ. And in fact, with £1, you can buy the whole of the 100 company in NASDAQ by buying EQQQ. That's an example. Or you can buy CNX1 if they have it here. CNS1, you can see, and in fact, CNS1 is tracking it better. You can see CNS1 is just on top of Invesco. So CNS1 and Invesco, you can't see them because they're on top of each other. So the blue and the light blue one are on top of. So they are both track NASDAQ 100. And so that's an example of an index fund or ETF that you can buy, for instance. And so that's just this example I'm going to give on that. So a mutual fund also is similar to an ETF. A mutual fund is a basket of a lot of companies. It could be 10 companies, it could be 100 companies, it could be 20 companies. And so you could also buy that. So there are different things you can buy in the stock market. So now, all I can do within the 2 hours we have today is to make you comfortable with the idea of investing in the stock market. I want to be comfortable that investing in the stock market is not as bad as people paint it to be, or as bad as you see in the news. Now, I use this as an example of hypothetical returns. Okay, hypothetical returns. What is the potential of the stock market? Now, if you have a child who is zero, you start with zero, you put in 200 for them on a monthly basis. By the time they are 18, they have 126,000 in that account at the rate of 10%. Okay, so let's open investment account for our children so that even if they're already 10 years old, you're already 15 years old, you can still open for them, let them start early. Once they start working, they can start putting money into it themselves. Okay, they can start topping it up to, and increase the money to 250 to 300. If you, for instance, if you're already 30 years old and you start putting in 300 pounds aside, at 10% over 30 years, by the time you are 60, you have over almost 700,000 in our account. Okay, so I'm just going to simulate that here using different figures. Okay, if you start with, sorry, these are just screenshots. Let me go back to that web page. You start with zero. The starting amount doesn't matter. 10% return. You do it for 30 years. You do 200. What do you have? Approximately, you're going to have about 450. And the thing there is that if you don't invest this 200, you're going to spend it anyway. You're going to spend it anyway. You won't know where the money has gone. But if you automate it and you don't even feel the pain, it's going out without even you knowing about it. Before you know it, you are able to build wealth. So maybe you put aside, let's say, okay, the one for the child I was talking about, I think I said about 18 years. You do it for like 18 years, and then you have about 120 something thousand. Okay. And so the good thing is that if you retire with, let's say you work for, like that man that worked for 40 something years, let's say you work for 30 years, okay, you're able to put an average of 350 aside on a monthly basis. That will give you about 700,000 within that period. So what is your contribution? This is what I want to look at. You contributed 126,000. What's your contribution? You earn interest of or appreciation at 10% of over 600,000 is what your money gave you. So this money, 120,000, produced an additional 665,000 is what this money produced for you to get 791. If you retire with this kind of money, if I put that money here, let's remove the zeros. And from age 60 to age 100 or 105, all you need to do is withdrawing your money. Let's say you are withdrawing, let's say you are withdrawing 6,000 every month. Calculate it. Okay. So even though in retirement you are on a 72,000 pounds per annum in retirement, still you can't finish spending that money. By the time you are 105, you still have 7 million in that account. Why? Your rate of return is 97, your spending is 72. It means you are not spending you're only spending your interest, and in fact, you are not spending the whole of your interest in retirement. Okay, so this is what is possible. Even though in retirement you don't have to withdraw this much because you already have your mortgage paid off, your children have finished school and stuff like that. You don't probably won't need that much in a year unless you want to travel the world. Okay, you probably won't need that much, 6,000 every month in a year, every month or through your retirement. That's just an example. And I love to show people, I've used 10%. I love to show you that um, that companies they've returned a lot more than 10% in the last 10 years. So for example, I put in here, if I ask us to put in the chat, companies that we love, you give me a lot of companies that you love. Okay, you can put in the chat, if I give you money today, 5,000 to go and buy stock, which stock will you buy? Like, put in the chat, put in anyone who wants me to use the example of whatever they love to buy, put it in the chat for me, and I'm going to use the example. So I'll just pick some random examples that are very obvious. If you ask me, Apple is a very obvious one. Someone said Someone said Tesla. Okay. And that's a very popular one too. So let's look at that Tesla. Tesla Inc. You let's make it 5,000 or 10,000. 5,000 in 2016 to 2026, 10 years. What do you have? The 5,000 will have become 150,000 at 40% on a yearly basis. So, I've used 10%. It will actually give you 40% on the average, not every year. On the by the time you look at the average, it has been 40% return on your money on a yearly basis on the average. And that's you turning 5,000 into 145,000. Okay. And these are things that are possible if you buy them right. But let me show us the one that probably won't give us that much. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola will probably give you Coca-Cola KO will probably give you 12,000. So it's going to give you 9.3% in the last 10 years. Okay. That's what that will give to you. But this is you not doing anything. You can see it's going up consistently. It's not a straight line. It's gone up and down the place. But to give you a modest 9.3% on per annum, which is better than a savings account, we still give you. Okay. And then let me see any other thing there. Okay. I was going to put Apple. Apple would have given you 56%, 56,000, and that's 27%. So that is what the power of that is what can happen in 10 years. Okay, I have companies I bought like 9 years ago. Okay, some of them have done almost 2,000%, to be honest with you. Let me give you that example let me give you a company I bought like 9 years ago. So I didn't know NVIDIA AI was going to come 9 years ago, but they made so much money from AI. If you had put 5,000 in NVIDIA 10 years ago, would have given you 1.1 million. Now, I didn't put that much. I didn't put 5,000. I put a few hundred. I put like 300 or 400 pounds. Okay. I wish I had put in this much. That's why you can't also predict the market. You don't know what. So I've not made million from Nvidia. I've turned my 300 to over 10 to how many figures now? To more than 5 figures. Okay. And I made more than 200%, about 200% on that amount I put in long time. I wish I'd known I've just put all my money into Nvidia. Anyway, that will have given you 72% on the average on a yearly basis. So I'm not an Nvidia millionaire yet. I don't know what's going to be in another 10 years, okay? So maybe that my thousands will have become millions. And so that is the potential, that is the possibility. If you give me more companies, I will look at them. So let's look at the ones I have, the popular ones I have on my screen. I have Netflix there. So what I'm doing that is I'm not suggesting you go buy these companies, because if you look at this and look at what Netflix has done in the last few months, it's gone down terribly. So I'm not saying go and buy Netflix. I'm not saying go and buy Apple. I am not saying go and buy Nvidia. That is not financial advice, and it's not a recommendation of these stocks. You need to do your due diligence and know why you are buying what you are buying. So 5,000 will have become 48,000 for Netflix, an annual return of 25%. So you can see that if you are able to choose good companies, you will be all right. Let me see if EQQQ is here. It's not there because it's not an individual company. NASDAQ. That's not NASDAQ. So those ones, we can find out what the ETFs will have done from here. Okay, let's move on from there. So we can see that the possibility of 24%, 9%, whatever percent per annum is possible over a period of time. I put in here Actually, 0% is what you're going to get if you put that 5,000 into Vodafone. 0% because Vodafone is going down, but they pay good. They pay good dividend. They put so the possibility is there, and the possibility of a company going bankrupt is also there. So that is the reason why you must be careful of the company you should buy. So I put in here a few ones that are ETFs. If you for S&P 500 over the last 5 years, it has done 139% within 5 years. While you can see semiconductor 200%, pressure metal over 100%, FTSE 100 about 90% in the last 5 years. Okay, now let me. I've just selected in some specific sector here. AI in AI, like I said, people use AI, but people don't make money from AI. Okay, you can make money from AI storage. All these companies provide storage for AI. Look at what they did last year, the last 1 year. Look at what they've done. I think I did this screenshot like 2 weeks ago. So you can see what they did in the last 1 year. 300%, 400%, 300%, 7%, still better than savings account, isn't it? Look at precious metal. 70%. Gold has done, and if I like I said, gold, I've made 100% on gold. I bought it just January last year, so more than 100% on gold. You see, I didn't buy silver. I didn't buy the remaining one. I think I just bought silver this year. Okay, and so you can see what they've done in the last 1 year. Look at UK banks, for instance. Okay, coming home to UK, look at Lloyd's Bank, for instance, did 65%, Barclays did 54%, NatWest did 41%, HSBC did 43%. Another UK list, UK retailers, Sainsbury's did 41%, Mark and Spencer 14%, Tesco did 27%, Next Fashion did 29% in 1 year. So it's you can see they are not on a straight line, but you can see what they did at the end of the year, at the end of the day. What am I trying to say is that if you select companies very well, if you understand how to select companies, you will be able to build a good portfolio, okay, that will return, a decent 10%, 50% on the average for you, 20% on the average for you on a yearly basis over a long period of time. Okay, another thing I'm going to say about the stock market is that despite all the news you see despite all the news you see, and despite all these, wiggling lines all over the place, the markets in the last about 15 years now, from 2009 to 2025, in the last 15, 16 years thereabout, only 2 years have been negative. We only had 2 negative years, 2018, 2022. So the market has been positive in the last 15 years. So what are we all waiting for? Let's give it a try. So I did a 10-year summary here for NASDAQ, which is technology company in America. And I tell people, if you don't know what to buy NASDAQ, buy S&P 500. If you don't know what to buy at all, just buy those two. Okay, and then until you have knowledge about the remaining things. So done 22% every on the average in the last 10 years. Since 1986, which I think is 40 years ago. Yeah, 86 to now is 40 years. It's done an average of 18% on an annual basis. Average on an annual basis, mean return. Then S&P 500 has done 11% in the last almost 100 years, from 1928. In the last 98 years, is done average of 11.9% on a yearly basis. The last 10 years done 16.1% on every year on the average in the last 10 years. So you can see that it's not as bad as people has painted it if you do it right. Let me add that clause. If you know what you are doing and you do it right, it is not rocket science. So if you have any question, put in the chat. If you do have any question, please put in the chat. You can stop me and ask questions, and then or just ask it. Either if you want to use audio to ask question, I will unmute you. Then you can ask question using the audio. You want to type it in the chat, you can type in the chat. Or if you want it to be anonymous, you can also private chat me on the chat. We allow you to private chat me, and then I can answer your question. Okay. Here I've done a simulation amount needed to reach 1 million at 10% per annum from age 0 to age 60, from wherever age you are to when you become 60. So if you open an account for your child needs only 25 pounds every month till the age 60 to get to 1 million. You can see how easy that could be if you start early. So this screen is for you to say, don't wait another year. Don't wait another year. If you start at age 10, you need 60 pounds every month. If you start at age 20, you need 160 pounds every month. If you start at age 25, you need 270 pounds. If you wait till when you are 40, you need 1,400 every month at the rate of 10%. You can get 15 or more, but 10% is the standard we normally use for simulation. If you wait till when you are 45, you need 2,500 every month. That is why I put aside in our family put aside about 2,000 every month is what we try to invest, as because we are targeting to get to over 1 million. Okay, if you wait till when you are 50, you are looking at 5,000 every month to get to this. So I've done another one. The next page is, you don't have to get to 1 million. 500 average pension in the UK is 200 and something. So if you get to 500,000, you've done better than 90, maybe 80% of people. Okay, so from age 0 to age 40, just 80 pounds to get to 500,000. From age 10 to age 40, 30 years period, you need 220 pounds. From age 20 to age 40, so that's 30 years period. 20 years, you need 670 to get to 500,000. From 25 to 40, you need 120. And from 2005, from 30 to from within these 10 years, you need to do about 250 every month in order to get to 500,000 within that. So the earlier you start, the better. I said down there that the earlier you start, the easier it is to build wealth, because time will be in your favor. So in addition to what I've said about the ups and downs in the markets, that the reality is that even though there are a lot of bad news there are a lot of bad news in the media, TV media, online. There's war today. The war is going on right now in the Middle East. Okay, we can see what. Let me go back to the browser. We can see what has happened in the last 5 days. Let me say 1 month. And in fact, it hasn't really impacted the market too much. Yeah, today is minus 0 point something. In the last 5 days, when the war came, it came down sharply, then it recovered back again. Okay, in the last 1 month, you know, not much has happened despite what is going on. So people, when you hear the rumor of war in the newspaper, you think it is the end of life. By the time you look at it over a long period of time, it's just a little blip on the graph. And so don't be scared. That's all I'm trying to say. Don't allow the news to scare you away. Okay, and this is a 35-year chart of S&P 500. You can see major events in the chart. 2000 and then 9/11 in 2001 contributed to this downfall. Dot-com bubble in 2000, 2001, 9/11 contributed to this fall. It came back up. 2008 banking crisis, that fall. For 10 years, it didn't really look back. Until coronavirus, this is coronavirus, it came down sharply. It went back up sharply. 2022 inflation came down sharply, went back up. Last year, Trump, when there was tariff on all the countries, okay, I think that's a question waiting for me. Okay, so it came down sharply, went up again. So there's war now. It came down a little bit and it's recovering back again. Okay, let me see. Someone said, is it advisable to stop work pension and channel the monthly pension contribution into investing, especially for those who located at older age above 40? Okay, so this is my take on that. So very, very, very good question. Now, what I would suggest, not an advice, what I would suggest is that leave your workplace pension where your workplace pension is. Don't stop your workplace pension. The reason is that depending on the pension you got, some people are, if you are, for instance, if you have an NHS pension is where they said is very good, okay, because you have a fixed amount, you know how much you have accumulated. So regardless of what happens in the future in the market or in investment, your retirement money remains the same. It doesn't go up and down. So if you're in that kind of pension, I don't want you to leave the place, because by the time you finish working, the day you are retiring, you know how much your pension is going to be. And regardless of what is happening in the market, your pension remains the same. And in fact, it increases with inflation. They increase it based on inflation, but it doesn't go up and down with what is happening in the market. Okay. Another thing is that your workplace pension is being managed by some experts. Now, if you withdraw it and you are not committed to managing it very well, or you go and gamble with it, you go and, when I say gamble, it means you go and use to buy speculative stocks because you are in a hurry to double it. So there are stocks you don't buy. And I don't have time to explain to them. They are called speculative stocks. You avoid them. But I can't explain them. We don't have enough time to explain that. So if you allow your emotion to come into it and you panic, and you go and you put the money into crypto, or into something very volatile, into something speculative, and you lose your pension, okay, that won't be good. So what I tell people is that let the experts manage your workplace pension while you do something in parallel. Okay, whatever they are deducting, let them deduct it. Another thing where you leave it there is because your employer will match your your contribution to a certain amount. Some employer will say if you contribute 5,000, 5%, we'll add another 5% to it. So that's already extra 5% on your money. So they can say, okay, if you contribute 1,000, we add another 1,000 to it. You don't want to lose that. So there are so many advantages with having workplace pension. Some of them will come along with life insurance also. So as you have your workplace pension, you also have life insurance along with your pension. So all of these advantages why you should leave it there with them while you create a separate account, which is called a SIP, where you can do your DIY investing in parallel. Now, for me, I manage everything myself. Okay. The current agency I'm working for, they open one for me. About 250 pounds is going there on a monthly basis, but that's fine. But I open my own separately which I manage myself. Now, I didn't just go into managing my pension myself. I waited for like a year or two. I saw that I was doing better than my pension by my pension, by the workplace pension. I was doing better than what they were giving, what the fund manager was doing with my workplace pension. Then I withdrew everything and I started managing it myself. Okay, I didn't just do that immediately. So you have to be sure that you be disciplined enough. Okay, and because I'm self-employed, so I'm not waiting for anybody to match any. I'm not gaining the matching. I'm not gaining the kind. It's not NHS, and I'm not gaining matching from my employer. And I can say I can manage it myself. That was when I decided to withdraw. And I know, it's in a SIP, and I know I won't buy speculative stock because I have the understanding. I hope that has answered your question. Do both do both. Uh, do personally and then leave the one at workplace. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so yeah, another thing is start today. Doing doing nothing or procrastinating is riskier than you when you make and for those who say, okay, I'm coming at the age of 40. Okay, what you can do, look into real estate investment also. That could also help within 10 years. That could, if you do it properly, that could help. And I was going to say something. Sorry, that has skipped me now. Sorry about that. Let me kill the tone for that phone. Okay, so I was going to say something. Yeah. Okay, I was going to say my own personal example that I started investing big time into stock after I was 40. At the age of 40, my pension was just 6,000. I came into this country in my 30s. The first company I worked with for the first 2 years, there was no pension. Then the next company I worked for 5 years, we didn't start having pension until towards the tail end of my stay in that company. And then I left. When the time I left the company, I only had about less than 6,000 in my pension. And so, and I was already 40 something then. And so, I started actually putting in money aside, apart from properties, putting money aside into stock when I was when I was already over 40. So it is doable if done properly. Okay, and but grace of God, almost getting to what the average pension is supposed to be in the UK. Even though I've only spent 10 years doing it. So if you can do it for the next 10 years, you could get to a very good place in your 50s. Okay, now doing nothing is or procrastinating is riskier than making informed investment decision. Okay, the accounts that we can open in the next few minutes that we have left. These are the accounts for children, for youth adults, for young adults, for adults, for retirement. If you're above 18, you can open the adult account. So the first account I will explain is that for children, if you have a child under the age of 18, they can open a junior ISA. You can start investing in that ISA with, I think, with as little as 25 pounds. I'm going to change that 100 to 25 pounds. You can do that with as little as 25 pounds, actually. You can invest as little as 25 pounds on some of this investment or whatever. So you can put in for your child as much as 9,000 in a year, and any profit they make is tax-free. But when they turn 18, the account is automatically turned over to them at the age of 18. Your opinion will not be sought because you open the account in their name. Once they become an adult, the account will be given to them automatically. Okay. And this will be a stock and shares account. So for every ISA account, there's a cash version and there's a stock and share version. So there's a cash ISA and there's also the stock. So I'm talking about stock and shares here. So that what is called a lifetime ISA or the LISA. So the LISA can serve two purposes. If you're not up to 40 yet, if you're above 18 and you're not up to 40, please go and open a LISA today, tomorrow. The advantages, these are the advantages. Number one, any money you put in, government will top it up for you by 25% or whatever you put in. You can put in, so you can get up to £1,000 from the government on every year if you put in 4,000 every year. If you put in £100, you get top of £25. If you put in £1,000, you get top of £250. So any amount you put in, you get 25% of whatever you put into your LISA. So it's a good way to save money towards your first house. Now, the caveat here is that your first house cannot be more than £450,000 when you want to buy it. Okay. And the fact that after buying your house, if you already have a house, then or after buying your house, or you already have your house before opening your LISA, your LISA will become a retirement account. You can't touch it until you reach age 60. If you touch it, you'll be penalized. You pay 25% in tax. If you don't, you can touch it, but you pay 25% in tax if you do touch it before you are 60. So you must leave the money until you are 60. And the government will keep adding to it until you turn 50, which is very good. And then you don't pay tax on it. How good. So that is very, very good. If you wait till if you make it your retirement account and you keep putting in money into it, keep getting government money until you are 50. And when you retire, you don't have to pay taxes. Because your workplace pension, you pay taxes on it when you retire. Your SIP, which I'm going to explain, if you do your pension personally, you pay taxes when you retire because you are using before tax money to invest into workplace pension and into your SIP. So LISA is very, very good if you can wait until you are 60, or you buy your first house with it and then you continue putting money into it. Okay, something big can come out of something very small. Very true, very true. Okay, junior SIP. A junior SIP is a retirement account for your child. Now, yeah, while it is very good, I prefer that you do a junior ISA instead of junior SIP, because if you start a junior SIP for your child, which is retirement, they can't touch it until they turn 50, maybe 57. Because the age is going now. Currently, the age is 55, but the age is going to 57 by 2020. If you don't turn 57 by 2028, then you have to wait. If you don't turn 55 by 2028, before 2028, you have to wait to 57. Who knows what the age will be in 20 years' time? Okay, because they keep increasing that age. So instead of opening a junior SIP for your child, let them open a junior ISA, which by the age of 18, they can start touching it. If you need it for their university or for education, whatever, they can touch it at the age of 18 and locked in until they are 60 before they can touch it. Okay, then another one is ISA. This one is, allow me to call it senior ISA because it's for people who are age 18 and above. So a lot of us probably will fall into this category, 18 and above, and then you can then you can open this. You can put in up to 20,000 in a year, meaning April 6 to April 5. I think that is the tax year. You can put in 20K. So the tax year is not yet over. You can still put in money before the end of you can, if you have money to max out your 20K before April 5, you can still do so. Same thing with LISA. You can still do that on your LISA before the end of the tax year. Okay, so your allowance for your ISA, they are the same. The 20K allowance is shared across all your ISA, your cash ISA, your LISA, your ISA and your stock and share ISA. Everything shares the same 20,000. It means if you put your 4,000 in your LISA, you only have 16,000 left to put into your stock and share ISA or into your cash ISAs. If you have, because you can have your stock and share ISA, cash ISA, innovative finance ISA, and lifetime ISA at the same time. If you are below 40, you can open all of them at the same time, but they all share the 20,000. Okay, you can start with as little as £1, to be honest. As little as £1, not even £100. Okay, SIP. SIP is your retirement. Your pension contribution, which you do personally. The full meaning is self-invested personal pension. That's the meaning of SIP, self-invested personal pension. And so across all your pension, you are only allowed 60,000 in a year. And in fact, you get to a certain salary when that 6,000 will start reducing. You know, by the time you get to 200 or 250,000 per annum in salary, they start reducing how much you can put into your pension. That's why a lot of doctors, when they get to certain salary, they don't want to do more work because, it reduces how much they can put into their pension. Okay, apart from the fact that their taxes will increase. So, but well, for me, I won't let that limit me anyway. So 60,000 is the maximum you can put. If you earn 60,000, you can put everything into your pension if you want in a year. If you have other means to survive, you're allowed 100% of your income as pension, as long as it's not even more than 60,000. Okay, now for your SIP, government will refund your taxes back to you. Now, this is you investing with the money in your account, which has been taxed. Your workplace pension, your pension is deducted before taxation. So it's before tax money. And so you pay tax later when you retire. Now, for SIP, you've already paid taxes on your money in your account before you put it into your SIP. The government will refund your tax back to you and then tax you when you retire. Okay, so you can use that money to trade for now until you retire. So you can get up to 45% refunded back to you from your taxes from the government. The first 25% is refunded without you having to do anything. So everybody who have a SIP account, any money you put into it, your platform will claim back from HMRC 25% and top it up for you on your investment account without you having to do anything. But if you are not a higher rate taxpayer, let me just explain what that is so that you know. Let me go to tax bracket to explain that. Tax bracket, the UK. Okay, so this is the tax bracket. So for people who if you earn from zero to 50,200 and 270, any money you put into your SIP, government will add to it 25%, including people who doesn't earn any money. As long as you open a SIP, you get 20%, 25% back automatically added to your to make it easy. Let me use it works out to be 25%, but let me use the tax percentage to explain it. So they put in 20% back, but when they work it out, it's going to be 25%. So when they put in back 20% of any amount you put into your SIP. It's added to you automatically. You don't need to do anything about it. But if you earn between 50,000 and 125,000, any money you put into your SIP, you can claim back 20% in addition to what has been automatically added. You claim it back through your self-assessment. You do your self-assessment, indicate there that you contributed into your SIP, and your accountant and HMRC will give you a tax relief of 20% of the amount that you contributed into your SIP. If you're an additional rate taxpayer, you earn over 125,000, you get additional 25% on top of this 20% to make it 45%. Added, you claim back 25% through your self-assessment, which will be a tax relief for you. So your tax is given back to you when you do that. But when you retire, you pay taxes. And then let me just explain. At the age of 55, you can withdraw 25% of your pension tax-free. Okay? You're allowed 25% of your pension tax-free. The age is going to 57. At 57 for some of us, by the time you're 57, you can withdraw 25% of your tax. If let's say you have 1 million in your tax, in your pension, you can take 250,000 lump sum tax-free. And then the remaining one, as you withdraw it, as you draw down on it, you start paying taxes, depending on the tax bracket in which you fall into. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is right now. So no more procrastination. Okay, so this is a summary of the type of accounts you can open: junior ISA, LISA, junior SIP, ISA, and SIP. Okay, questions. Let the questions come in. Now, the platform that you can use to open these accounts are what you have on your screen. Trade212 is still my favorite for ISA, for stock and share ISA. It's also my favorite for cash ISA. The Money Box is good for cash LISA, not stock and share LISA, cash LISA. Free trade is good for SIP, for pension. And then all the ones we star on them is where you can get a LISA. If you want a lifetime ISA for your first house or towards your retirement, and all these ones we star is where you can open the account. Okay, for those who live outside of UK, they live in Nigeria, these are places where you can, or tell your people who live in this country to go and open investment accounts. So we talk about black tax. We have people we need to help, our parents and co, but encourage your siblings to start putting money away. People have children and they wait till when their children is 16 and they say, I don't have WAEC money. What are you doing for 16 years that you don't have WAEC money for your child? Oh, I don't have admission money. I don't have JAM money. For 16 years of that child's life, that's high level of irresponsibility. I'm sorry to say. People should learn. Let's encourage people to start putting money aside for their children. Well, 10,000, 5,000 every month for 15 years of that child, 10 years of that child's life will turn out to be very good money. Stanbic IBTC pays about 20% per annum on their money market fund. They have mutual fund, they have money market fund. Money market on this 75% in Nigeria last year on Stanbic IBTC. I was checking this like a week or so ago. 75% return on their stock fund, their equity fund, and then their what do you call it? Their money market fund did 20%. And so if you want to buy American stocks from Nigeria, you need all these new fintech companies that can help you to access it. So there are companies that will do that for you, even outside of the UK. Okay, now I have example. These are fees. I won't be able to explain the fees as we run out of time. And then how do you win when you come to stock investing? Be consistent. So I advise people do this as soon as you get your income. If you get paid on a weekly basis, invest on a weekly basis. If you get paid on a monthly basis, invest on a monthly basis. Okay? Invest, diversify into stocks. Do your research very well, which is something I can't teach within this period of 1 hour. I can teach that. I teach that during my master class. If you're interested, do let me know. Have your research, do your research, have your conviction, and then you know what to buy. And then you buy it for the long term. And then you manage your risk through diversification and then through what we call stock rotation through the economy. You know what to buy. Currently now, there's war. Fuel prices is going to go up. Do you have oil company in your portfolio? okay, you should have oil company to take advantage of what is going on right now in your portfolio because oil prices will be going up. You need to understand how to manage your risk. Then avoid herd mentality and don't be greedy. So don't follow the crowd on the internet to invest. You might lose your money. Don't get greedy. Don't try to double your money. Okay, I only put my money on the company that will double it for me in the next 1 year. The one that did 1,000%, I'm going to put my money into it. Don't do that. That's being greedy. That's you not allowing your research and your conviction to dictate what you do, and then your risk management uh understanding to dictate what you are doing. So for people who might want to come for my master class, this what I've said today is like a foundation. I won't repeat them again in my master class, but this is a foundation for you. So in summary tonight, as we conclude, I've talked about a few things, and I've said keep educating yourself on financial matters. You need financial intelligence, you need financial education. I said keep increasing your capacity to earn more. The more you learn, the more you earn, and then the more you earn, if you manage it very well, the more you have to invest and build wealth. Have a plan to become debt free. If you are not already, if you're already debt free, avoid bad debts. Okay, don't borrow money for consumption. Borrow money for capital investment if needed. Control where your money goes. So, like I said, allocation of fund is very important. Allocate your funds based on the strategy I've taught us. I'll always have money that will go into your investment. Practice delay gratification. There is a season for everything. So some things you can't buy right now, don't borrow money to buy them. Wait till when you can afford to buy them. Practice delay gratification. Form the habit of paying yourself first, no matter how little. It means paying yourself first means you put money in. The money I have in my investment account is what I paid myself. The rest you give to people. You give to uncle, to auntie, to Tesco, to your landlord, to your mortgage company, to your car, whatever. The only thing that is yours is what you put into your investment account, which is for your future. And then I said here, and that summary is the fact that invest consistently and strategically. Don't compare yourself with other people. Let God lead you. Don't be anxious. Okay. Don't follow the crowd. And then, of course, enjoy yourself in the process. Okay. So that is a summary of what I've told us today. I've said a lot, and I know it's a lot that I've said. Within 2 hours, I can't make you an investor in 2 hours. This is so much I can say. If you're interested in our master class, there's one coming up on Saturday. Okay, there's one coming up on Saturday, and it's going to last for 5 hours. Uh, Through that, I will teach us how to understand which company should I invest in. What do you look at when you are investing in company? How do I build my portfolio? Okay, that's what we'll be looking at. And then on Tuesday following in the evening, we look at we start building that portfolio. That's the mentoring session. We start selecting stock. So I have a list of over 120 companies that you look at, and then you can have pre-screened them. So I've screened the 120 companies. I've screened them already. You now go ahead and further screen them and select maybe like 10 or 20 out of them, which you are going to put in your portfolio. So we'll be smart investing. We'll be building our ISAs, our SIP, our LISAs, our junior ISAs, our junior SIP, whatever you want. We'll be building it during then. We'll do a real estate, a starter pack, I said, to real estate, and then tax relief opportunities, and then we look at financial management like we looked at today. So focus on that Saturday will be how do you build a profitable, stable, diversified investment account. After the Saturday, we do Tuesday evening, we do Thursday evening. And by that Thursday evening, your portfolio should be ready, fully automated with all the companies, all the things, both ETF, mutual fund, individual companies, everything you need to buy to have a well-stable company that can withstand the up and down of the economy. You already have it there. And so if you want to register for that, it is 150. Go on my website, ibwfg.com, and then click on Masterclass, and then you can register using this link. And if you can't make it on the 7th, you can use this link. The price is going to 200 in July. if you can't make these 2 months, I do it once in 2 months. July is going to be £200 per person. So come around here and register, and this will take you to the Zoom page where you can use PayPal to check out using PayPal. You make payment. But if you want to pay into my account, you can pay into my account, then send me your name, your email address, and your phone number, and I can register you manually on Zoom. Okay. Any question before we have a minute left? Any question? I'll be happy to answer your question. And I hope to see us on Saturday. If you're able to make Saturday class. Okay. If you gain one or two things today, give me thumbs up. If you know you gain something, and you are still there, you are still awake there, give me a thumbs up. If you gain one or two things, thank you very much. Thank you for that thumbs up. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so we'll call it a day. My phone number is on that website or where you register for today's training. If you want to drop me a text, you have a question down here, you probably will see my phone number down here. You can drop me a text, and I will make efforts to reply you. Thank you for coming tonight. You do have a wonderful evening. Okay, I've got something in the chat. You are welcome. Thank you. You are welcome. Okay. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you.